Hey there, welcome to the channel. My name is Bishop. This is Bishop's garage. My yard is my garage, but I've been feeling like I may just want to call everything my yard is my garage. So this is Bishop, my yard is my garage. Today we're going to be going underneath our new project car, our 1969 Dodge Charger. We're going to be crawling underneath, looking at the rusty spots, places where things have been deleted, and we're going to go ahead and create a punch list, figure out what needs to be replaced, what kind of order we need to do things in. And please, if you have any thoughts, comments, or questions, go ahead and put them down below. Click the subscribe bell if you want to be informed when I've got more content coming up. And let's crawl under this bad boy and see what kind of a mess we're looking at. We're going to go ahead and take a look and see what sort of damage we've got going on and see where our project's going to lead us, because wow, I'm not the greatest welder. In fact, I'm awful, but there's going to be a lot of that on this project. So let's go ahead and crawl under here, see what I'm up against. You guys will be surprised along with me. Hopefully not too many surprises. Well, right away we can see we've got a lot of complex creasing in here. This valance is going to have to completely come off. We're going to have to take the bumper off fully too. You can see it's been creased here too. It's like they backed up into something and just crunched it. So that's going to be a lot of extra effort. Okay, here we go. All right, well, for starters, we can definitely see that we're going to need some leaf springs. The the shackles are quite questionable. We've got, well, the frame extensions, and excuse me if I don't call them the right names, these don't look too bad. We can probably clean those up. They're still pretty solid. They're not terribly chewy. This, yeah, we can patch this. This is pretty, oh, it'd help if you saw what I was pointing at. So the rear frame portion here kind of really becomes soft right in here. The outside is pretty decent. Inside's pretty chewy. We're going to have to replace that. We already know that. We can, of course, see up through the trunk. Rear end. Looks like it's either that's a leak or it's been sitting in something. The rear end is a Posi 323. So we'll keep that, certainly. And it looks like we've got light duty leaf springs over here too. We'll replace those. I think they had those look like 4s, 1, 2, 3, 4s. They had 5 and 6 actually on the 426 and the 440 heavier duty. So we'll be replacing on those as well. So the frame here on the other side looks like the same sort of thing. Gets very chewy back here, so probably what we're going to do is we're going to be cutting somewhere in here and we'll splice back so we can replace that, pull that back to where it should be. We'll have to do that as we're doing the valances. You can see over here though, this is kind of good. Our trunk extensions look nice actually, which is a shock. Those normally go pretty quick. So that's not going to be too shabby to replace. And of course, you can see the lower part of the rear quarter here, that's going to have to go. All right, so Clearly, we also will need a gas tank. That is, it's been deleted on here, so there's no gas tank. And yeah, all right. Let's move to maybe the next part of the frame section up here. We'll check those out and see what we're in for. So we are just on the front side of the rear tire, taking a look at the inside frame. What I'd like to do, though, is possibly, there are ways to add a frame extension that go from here and meets the front frame somewhere way over here. Adds some stiffening, adds a little bit more strength to the body, and certainly couldn't hurt. They run from, right here, just along this floor, and they meet this section right about here. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look underneath here. You can see our back seat area, a little chewy here. Got a few holes. We're going to have to replace that side, certainly. That side over there doesn't look as bad, but certainly we'll see what kind of shape that is once we really dig into that portion. So looking at the rear portion of the frame from here, well, if we can get it to adjust. Let's see if we can't change this. Nope. Well, if I can just hold it right, we can kind of see that rear portion of the frame. Doesn't look that bad. We may be able to patch part of that. Let's see if we can get even farther under here. Now, it doesn't look that shabby going up and over the rear end hump. Yep, so that should be savable. We'll scrape on that, clean it, de-rust it, and then we'll have to rebox in those rear sections over there because they're just bad. We can splice in some new steel there. This side, the same sort of thing. These are actually pretty solid here, going all the way back, except for that last foot or so where it looks like they backed into something and needs to be spliced. Here's our big deal. Here's the big deal. Here we are. This is our torsion box. The torsion box, you can see, is, well, kind of missing right here. It should go up to the frame, to the door sill here, but it does not to the rocker panel. The rockers are actually in really good shape here. I'm very surprised, and I'm very happy. So that's good. But that's kind of been deleted, so we're going to have to fix that. I've got that whole assembly coming in the torsion box. So you can see that this torsion anchor here is fine. But if you look over here, there's our whole issue and why we have our jack supporting that side. The torsion bar has just crumbled. It's dead. And so it's sad and needs to be fixed. So that's going to be that whole section we will go ahead and replace from edge to edge. That's the first thing we're going to work on under here. Getting the car stable from side to side. Looks like we've got some deterioration on the rocker panel on that side too, but part of that will be fixed by putting that new torsion box or torsion bar box, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, the dealie here, this thingy, replaced. Okay, yep, you can see here, we'll just lower down slightly. The frame extension I'm talking about attaches here and goes back to the rear of the car and attaches the other part of the frame. That's for stiffening. It's a really cool package I've seen installed on a few cars. And since I am going to dump a 440 in here, I'd like to go ahead and make sure we're a little stiffer. It looks like our floor seat supports are pretty nice. At least on this side. Yeah, the other side looks pretty decent too. Don't know if you can see that terribly well from here. But the floor seat supports look fine. Boy, that torsion box, that's just terrible. All right, so let's go ahead and move up to the front. We'll move to just on the other side of the driver's, or the other side of the tires here. And we'll see what our front end looks like. Well, and just in front of the rear tire here, of course, there's about 20 pounds of Bondo here. Maybe 25. Yeah, that'll have to go. And we can get just a patch panel for that. That shouldn't be too bad. And that same piece that we'll get, we can use to patch that section too right there. Well, let's look at it from the front here first. So clearly, we're going to need to replace or repair that. We can just Zeus some new steel in there and fix that. What's nice is we have the 26-inch radiator core support because this is an AC car. So that gives us a wider bit of cooling. We are missing the really nice piece of front metal that anchors down here and gives us a spot for our hood to actually clip on so it doesn't pop up. We're missing that. And that usually comes with the buckets that the lights screw into. I've actually got the plastic part of the front, but the rest of it, nah. I can get that through. I think it's AMG. I think it's like $400 or so for that replacement, brand new. Or some people sell it on eBay for a whole lot more. So torsion bar and frame on the passenger side here looks really good. You know, the K-member's in great shape. The firewall is just nice. It really is. Everything under here is in pretty decent shape. Frames going forward too. Really good shape all the way up. Thankfully, I mean, because this is some of the most complicated steel to have to fix and replace, I'm glad that it's in pretty decent shape. All right, let's go ahead and crawl underneath the front here and just double check, and we'll see what we're looking at from that side. All right, our BF Goodrich front tires. I bet you these are made in the US. Be interesting to find out how old these are here. Okay, what do we got here? P245R, yeah, 60R14s. Oh, so 14s. All right. So inside of our fender, it actually is really nice in here. We have lucked out, at least in that portion. Certainly, we have a small spot starting here, but that can be easily patched. Let's look underneath here for more of our surprises. Yeah, we're looking at the end of the torsion bar here. We can see it's pretty hollow. Frame going up, nice. Yep, I can confirm that looks pretty decent. I have a temporary column in there right now. Originally, this car came with power steering, or I mean, well, sure, power steering, but also came with power brakes. You can see the, over here, maybe that's, there we go. You can see the junction there where we go from front to rear and proportioning valve or pressure valve, I think, yeah. I don't know, I'm debating to go with like a dual cylinder, non-powered, I don't know, we'll see. We'll talk about that. Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun to grind that out and drill out all those factory welds and then put that new piece in. Oofta. But then we won't have to use this jack to actually hold the bottom of the car up. Because certainly right now it just rides. It just rides on the ground. Okay, well, we'll take a slight look back here towards the rear. And yeah, I do have the driveline for it. Thank you, Darren. Yep. Then of course we have giant drums in the front, no discs. See, if I went with that really nice Willwood dual cylinder, I could get away with not having power brakes, and I could do discs in the front and just drums in the back, and I think we would have plenty of stopping power. Boy, those are big drums. Look at the size of those things, Jiminy. Well, and certainly we're going to need tie rod ends, and I'm sure all these little small joints need to be replaced or greased on or fixed. It looks like there has been some attempts at repairing some of it. We'll see though. But since this is kind of like a blank canvas and it's mostly been disassembled already for me, I'm just gonna go and put new crap on. All right, I think that's probably the end. I think that's probably the end of our tour on the underside here. I'll get this posted so you guys can enjoy this portion, and then we will figure out where to go next. So yeah, things are coming along. I think next time when we get together, I'll have a punch list. We'll go over that, and we'll figure out where we start chewing this elephant. What do you say? Well, there you have it. Certainly, you can tell that there's a lot to be done. We're going to have to replace at least the driver's side floor all the way to the back. And we're probably going to have to replace the passenger rear back floor too. So we may just do the whole floor. We've got our torsion box that we need to replace. We also have the frame rails in the rear. The last foot of each are just toast. Those need to be replaced. And since we're going to do the rear valance as well, yeah, that needs to go too. You can see that we've had a delete on the front valance and some of the bits up here. So of course we're going to have to get a front valance as well. That means we're going to need that support for the whole front. And since this was originally a bucket seat with a console in the center, I'd like to get a new console for it too, and bucket seat, so at least we have the rear seat. Yeah, we've got a long ways to go. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, go ahead and click the bell if you want to be notified when I throw up any new content. Also, click the subscribe so you can come along with this project and see where we go with it. Because honestly, it's going to be fun, it's going to be angering, it's going to be a heck of a project, and I'm excited to bring you along with me. All right, take care.